Our Constitution implements our 5 founding principles. With this Constitution, we created the federal government. We are the creators. The federal government is merely our creature. Creature is the word Hamilton used in Federalist number 33 and Jefferson used in the Kentucky Resolutions of 1798 under the 8th resolution, where he wrote that the government is merely the creature of the compact between the states. The federal government is not a party to the compact. It is merely the creature. We created a federal government, a federation of sovereign states united under a national government for limited and enumerated purposes only, with all other powers reserved by the states or the people. This chart, and I'll give you one before you leave, depicts the federal structure and the enumerated powers delegated to the national government. These are the enumerated powers. It's a short list. We have the right to tell our creature what we are authorizing it to do. And that is precisely what we did in our Constitution, where we listed every power we delegated to our creature. Our creature has 3 branches: legislative, executive, and judicial. We enumerated the powers we delegated to each. It is only with respect to these enumerated powers, those listed in the Constitution, that the federal government has lawful authority. The list of enumerated powers is short. Most of the powers delegated to Congress over the country at large are listed at Article 1, Section 8, Clauses 1 through 16 on this one little page. All our Constitution authorizes the national government to do over the country at large falls into 4 categories. 1, military defense, international commerce, and relations. 2, control immigration and naturalization. 3, domestically create a uniform commercial system, weights and measures, patents and copyrights, money based on gold and silver, bankruptcy laws, mail delivery, and some road building. And 4, with some of the amendments, secure certain civil rights. That's basically it. All other powers are reserved by the states or the people. So, our Declaration of Independence declares that governments exist to secure rights God gave us. The federal government is to secure our God-given rights by exercising the enumerated powers listed in the Constitution. It isn't the federal government's job to secure our God-given rights in all ways, just in the ways appropriate for the national government of a federation. Our rights are to be secured in other ways by the states. The federal government is to secure our right to life by military defense, Article 1, Section 8, Clauses 11 through 16. Laws against piracy and other felonies on the high seas, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 10. Prosecuting traitors, Article 3, Section 3. Protecting us from invasion, Article 4, Section 4. And restricting immigration, Article 1, Section 9, Clause 1. It is to secure our property rights by establishing a money system based on gold and silver, and by establishing uniform weights and measures, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 5. Punishing counterfeiters, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 6. Establishing bankruptcy courts, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 4. Issuing patents and copyrights, Article 1, Section 8, Clause 8. and by regulating trade and commerce so we can produce, sell, and prosper. Article 1, Section 8, Clause 3. Now listen carefully. The original intent of the Interstate Commerce Clause, and this is proved at Federalist Papers number 22 and 42, was to prohibit the states from imposing tolls and tariffs on articles of commerce as they were transported through the states for purposes of buying and selling. And the federal government is to secure our right to liberty by laws against slavery, 13th Amendment, providing fair trials in federal courts, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th Amendments, and by obeying the Constitution. The reason our Constitution so strictly limits and enumerates the powers of the federal government is to secure our basic right to be left alone to live our lives free from meddlesome and interfering do-gooders, bullies, tyrants, and thieves. So this is how our federal Constitution implements the founding principle that the purpose of government is to secure the rights God gave us, and I just listed for you most of the enumerated powers. It is only with respect to the enumerated powers listed in the Constitution that the federal government has lawful authority. If it's on the list, Congress may make laws about it. But if it's not on the list, Congress usurps power and acts unlawfully when it interferes. Depending on how you count, Congress only has 18 to 21 powers over the country at large. If we followed our Constitution, most people could live their entire lives without having anything to do with the federal government. When governments, state or federal, do nothing more than secure our God-given rights, the people can live together in peace because no one has his hand in anybody else's pocket and no one is trying to run other people's lives. The chart illustrates what I told you. It illustrates the hallowed purpose of civil government to secure the rights God gave us, and shows our federal structure. This side lists the enumerated powers of the federal government. This side shows how the states and the people retain all powers not delegated, and how the states are to secure God-given rights in the ways appropriate for state governments.